Good morning. How is everybody doing today? I hope you're well. I hope you're well. Happy 2026. Happy New Year. Like I said, some of you've had a rough night. I've been up on and off all night. So I seen Lep. He had a couple. His wife took over, took care of him. She did a great job. Carrie, she is awesome. She ought to have a dinner show. What is it? A small spoon or a small spoon. She ought to have something coming up fairly soon. I think this Sunday, but I don't know for sure with the holiday. So she is awesome. I watched Zerwig. She was awesome. Brought it in right. A sad queen. Watched a little bit of her. She brought it in right. I'm glad she's feeling better. So you guys are out there cheering it on, doing the right thing. Having fun, making it wholesome, and I respect and I appreciate all of you. You made my evening much better. I started the evening off doing chores around the house to get a little chicken made, baked chicken, did that kind of thing, a little seasoning, all purpose Kinder seasoning. I had that with some barbecue sauce on them. Turned out very good. Um, then I ended up, pardon me, then I ended up watching Aliens with Sigourney Weaver, Ridley Scott, the director, the producer or director. He was the director. So I really like Ridley Scott. I like Sigourney Weaver. The 1979 Alien with the 2003 director's cut. It was kind of, it was the 70s kind of TV or movie, but it was done very well, very well. I can't wait to watch the other one slowly as time progresses on this month and catch up with that. It was great. I forgot majority of all of it. Um, all the actors were great, and the beginning of Bishop. If anybody's watched the series, Bishop, he's something serious. So I did enjoy that. So I got done with that, texting my mom and wishing her happy new year way before midnight. And then my sister and James, Liza and James, wish them a happy new year. So they're doing all right as far as I know. So all my peeps are doing all right. Jessica wishing me happy new year. So she texted and I wish happy new year. I was so happy to hear from her. She's doing all right. So she was a big one on the show a while back. She's doing other things, a little stressed out, a little this, started a new job. So hopefully it's all going well for her. I haven't had much chance to catch up with her. I will in the future. Other than that, I stayed up. I don't know. It had to be 9, 10 o'clock. Crashed out for a couple hours. Got back up. Watched the Sad Queen. Did all that kind of stuff and had a good time. And here I am. I'm getting ready. I got the stove started. 475. I got some bread going last night. I did not have bread flour, and I think that affected me. It's a little goopy in there. It said throw it in the fridge for 12 to 3 days for to improve the taste. It was in there about 12 hours. So it's sitting on the counter getting a little warmed up, doing its thing. We'll get into that to see what else. I want to say, and I said this a lot leading up to 2026, is that I want to thank all the mods, the VIPs, the people that passed through that I gave VIPs to that didn't pass through that much anymore and that kind of thing. Thank you so much for being here, for helping me out with gaming with Destiny, the lovers of Destiny. There's been a lot of them come through, checking on me. Some of them come through and check on me every once in a while. And that is so precious to me. I really want to say thank you to all of you. I went through some hard times with getting my blood pressure worked up and getting in a fight with my neighbor and doing all that kind of stuff. And some people came in and checked on me, and they checked on me periodically after that. Thank you. I appreciate all of you. I really do. The mods, the VIPs, the new VIP mods. Thank you so much. Walking James and I through game night with family and friends and hanging out with us and hanging out with me in the mornings and helping me through the Renegades and Edge of Fate and all that kind of stuff. It has been a great time. And yes, I did like Edge of Fate. Could add another super into it, but you have that. I do love Destiny, and I think great things are on the horizon for Destiny. They need a little pressure off of them. I think Marathon coming out in the next or by March is going to take some of that pressure off of them. People are going to go play it. They're going to bring in income. From everything they've shown, the improvement, 100%, 150% improvement in the graphics and the characters and the story and well, it's got a story from what I'm picking up now, and then just the gameplay, everything. They've improved everything. They've used their time very wisely, their resources wisely. We got to get it in our fingers. Let us pre-order, guys. Bungie, let us pre-order it. Let's get those pre-orders going. It's the new year. Because I had money, but I set aside for it. But I went ahead and I bought a new camera and a tripod, warnies, and everything else for bachelor cooking. So I'm gonna get it in here, a little tripod to get it moving around, get it situated. Bought some wires for it too. So I'm gonna do that. It should be here by next bachelor cooking. So it'll be exciting. We'll get it going. We'll get things situated. We'll have a good time. So we get that going on. I'm hoping to get bachelor cooking fired back up by May fully. Until then, there's going to be two or three, depending on how I feel and what's going on, shows a month. Really, honestly, I got some health things coming up. I got to see my psychiatrist. I got to see my therapist a couple times, and to check with my psychiatrist on getting off the Lexapro all the way to my antidepressant, anxiety, and I feeling invincible medication, and see how that goes. Clear my mind of all that. It takes 4 to 6 weeks. I've gone from 20 milligrams to 10 milligrams, which I'm hoping to go now to zero next time I see him. I have to check with him. He's the boss and he'll know what's best. Therapist is ongoing as far as I can see. We've talked about another couple years. Just going to keep me even keel. If I got any problems come up, any situations, kind of keep me in good shape. Help me transition through anything else big in my life and stuff like that. So still doing that, still transitioning into my new life with all the doctors fixed a lot of my meds and still fixing, as I just said, some of my meds and getting me really lined up on my diagnosis and all those kind of things. So it's been very good. The last couple of years, I've really stepped forward when I've moved in my new place. So I want to thank everybody that helped me do that, and my parents. They've been great. Their moral support made phone calls for me for inspectors when I was totally at my wits' end after moving the mobile home and getting everything situated, moving everything in here all by myself. And the mobile home was moved by contractors and had to deal with all them. I was wiped out. And I was at my wits' end, and they said, "You can't live here." I was staying at the hotel in town just across the street. And they're like, "You can't. You got to have a permit." When can I get the permit? Oh, 6 weeks. I couldn't. This is my number one home. So my parents called and said, "Hey, he's disabled. This is his primary residence. Can you get somebody?" The inspector came out, I think the following day, inspected everything, got everything situated, and boom, got me in here, got my occupancy, and things went good. So I'm very thankful for all that working out. Thankful for my parents to picking up the ball. And when I was at my wits' end, still recovering from being over medicated and going through stuff, And I was in the hospital for toxic uh, 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 lithium toxicity because they had my meds screwed up. They gave me some blood pressure meds that caused my lithium to elevate real high, 2.3, 2.5, which is way outside the okay range. So basically, from there, I was in rough shape. I was feeling it. I was fatigued. I was long lithium toxicity. So they really helped me out. They've been helping me. So I can't, be immature and say, "Oh, my parents have saved my life." So I'm very thankful for them. Even at the ripe old age of 50, we all need help. We can't do it alone. Take care of the people that help you and love you and accept you for who you are. That was a lesson there. It is very important. It is very important because somebody that loves you and accepts your blemishes and your screw ups and all that kind of stuff, and still helps you, treat them good. Treat them like they're you love them. Treat them like you love them because those people are really really hard to find. That's looking out for your best interest. People without any alternative motives or anything else. Maybe a little kudos, maybe a little pat on the back, maybe a dinner, something like that. But really, all honestly, when it gets down to it, those people are worth just the just their weight in gold. That really do. So I'm very thankful for them. Helped me get in here. The following 2 years, I've been recovering, getting situated, getting my doctors all together, taking care of my own affairs, taking care of any problems that come up. So it's been very good. It has been very good. And I know that sounds horrible, but if you read my Instagram, I had a doctor that was a killer. He killed a woman and her unborn child. He was my doctor, had my meds screwed all the way up. And that doctor, after that doctor, every doctor after that rubber stamped the same meds. So I stayed in the same horrible state of mind until I hit a couple doctors about 4 or 5 years ago that really cleaned up my meds, cleaned my state of mind up, my diagnosis, my therapy direction, and everything else, and got me back on my feet. People had given up on me by that time. My parents had given up on me. They were just, maintaining and helping me out, just trying to figure out what's going on. Um, they let me move it into town, do my thing, make my own decisions, but they were worried about having to rescue me again or me going back to the hospital. So this was a lot of stress on all of us when I moved. So me coming into another collapse, especially coming out of the hospital for lithium poisoning, and my lithium levels all over the place, and it was really really chaotic. And thank God they're there for me. Thank God. So I want to thank them, thank the doctors and everything else that helped me get to this point. I got good internet. The year prior to that, I'd been streaming down on the farm. I think I had 4 megabytes upload, and I had like 6 down. My streams were chaotic. I was there all the time, but they were so staticky and everything else. Nobody wanted to come along. Nobody wanted to hang out. They just broke up and did everything. But I was there every day, so I tried. And I didn't have very good equipment. I invested in equipment, bought new computers, cameras, the whole spiel. Got off my Xbox X and got onto a laptop. Got on my video game off the Destiny off of the Xbox X and got it on the laptop. Got all the software I needed. Big investments, and it's worked out. So that brings me to all of you, the mods. Thank you again. I mentioned you once. The VIPs, the people just come and lurk and hang out and encourage me to keep going forward. I want to say thank you very much to all of you. The people that want to come back and watch the VODs don't get it at the right time. I'm early in the morning or don't want to be caught in chat or whatever you want to do. It's on you. And I thank you. It makes me feel good when those numbers go up. I feel like, man, people are watching, people are making comments. I got the YouTube channel going with it. So we're getting more and more people on YouTube watching. I get some TikToks. I'm getting some TikTok hits. So we're doing all right. We're starting to stream. I'm starting to feel like a streamer. Bungie's gotten a hold of me. I've done some stuff with them on just basically they gave me some free codes to Edge of Fate. Asked me to post some stuff about Edge of Fate and that kind of thing and how much I loved it. And I did that. They were awesome. Trying to get in the creators group on that. Twitch has been great, helping me along if I had a question or a problem. I turned down affiliate years ago, and they haven't burdened me too bad with any problems or anything else, and still listen to my advice, or not advice, but when I ask questions, they give me advice and stuff like that. They fixed my problems, so I want to thank them. And so it has been a very growing, all those things, I had to think about, I had to work on, I had to troubleshoot. Everybody knows how bad I had to troubleshoot to get things situated. And it has been a learning, loving, growing experience. As you can tell by my 15-minute jaunt down memory lane, it was a lot. We have gone through a lot, a lot. And I want to thank everybody. I want to thank my kid sister for helping me out with bachelor cooking, all the specials and the bachelor cooking Sundays and all that kind of stuff. I want to say thank you very much to my sister and the kids that help and make it interesting, jumping in ears. I love you, Uncle Eldon. I love you. That just makes me so happy, and I'm so grateful for that. They're special. They're good people. And James with game night with family and friends. We're starting to get it hammered out. The last show was kind of rough on how we started up. My voice was way, way quiet. His is way, way loud. Between the two of them, we couldn't get it situated, balanced out. He was jumping in there when they're trying to explain what was going on in the stream, keep everybody going along on VODs and on the regular thing. We'll get it worked out. We'll get it worked out. So you'll have some of that growing pains. That is truly growing pains. But he's great. He's enthusiastic. He's excited. He loves Destiny, and it is a great thing to have him along. And being co-host, I can bounce stuff off of him. We can work together. We can talk. We can yap, and it is wonderful. So it looks like Thursdays, this coming Thursday, not today, next Thursday at 8 p.m. Game night with family and friends will be on this channel, Eastern Standard Time. And we'll go at it. We'll try it again. We're going to do Renegades. We got the storyline done. We'll try the dungeon out. See if one of the mods can help us with the dungeon. It'd be so exciting. The jumping puzzles will drive us both insane, but it'd be great. It really is. That dungeon is my favorite. We'll see if it's his favorite too. So we'll find out. So check with us next Thursday for game night with family and friends, and we'll do that. The 10th I have off. I'm going to go get groceries. I always get groceries on the 10th. The 11th we're going to have another bachelor cooking. So we're going to try to get the bachelor cooking together. I started talking about it, and I got so many things that I want to talk about. Is the bachelor cooking? I have to get my health care taken care of. I mentioned, my psychiatrist and all that. There's an obesity shot I got to check into and get that situated. I got a heart doctor, cardiologist. They said when I had a CAT scan for my lungs, make sure I don't have lung cancer. So there's a moderate calcification in my arteries. Gonna see what moderate is. We're gonna go see that. So that's gonna happen, I think, in February. And so once I get all that situated, make sure nothing else serious changes after that. Talk to my medical doctor with all this information that I've gathered for him and make a decision on if I'm going to take a obesity shot, one of the ones like some of the famous Weight Watchers and everybody else is doing now. Going to see what we can do with that, and see. Just I'm not going to take it forever. Just to lose about 70, 80 pounds. Get my, I think it'd help my breathing. The doctor thinks, and I think too. Help me get back into exercise a little bit easier, so I'll feel better about myself. I have to get my eating done. So with all that, as we move into that, then what we're going to do is all the Bachelor cooking shows are going to be healthy. I got a website, or I got recipes from a USDA website that I showed last time, and it'll be good because they're all real healthy. A lot of beans, a lot of beans, but it'll be all right. So we'll check that out and do that. So, get the healthiness going on, get some exercise, getting routines, got to have routines. So get my routines done and be accountable for it. I'm here on air with you, so somebody's watching. I got videotape. I got everything. So it is one of those things. Let me get some water here. So that's all what we got planned for the new year. And I'm going to start working on a book, my mental health book. What is it? Uh, Self-help mental health book, How I Survived the Mental Health System in America. It's going to be set up as a self-help book and a story on my journey through it and the things I had to do as I went through and survived. It was very difficult. So we're going to do that. So that's a big plan for too. So we're going to get all that. This is going to be a jam-packed year. We're going to get some marathon. I love that marathon. I'm going to get into it, play some of it, get some of the mods, get hopefully James into it a little bit, at least some, and play and have a good time. So that's what my hopes are. So welcome to 2026. I'm going to put my mind into the good gear and do good things and keep helping other people, keep inspiring, educating, saying I love you. I hope for the best for you. It is tough out there with the economy and politics and everything else is going to change overnight. And it's going to take some, encouragement, some hope to make it through. And I hope to give you some of that, what you need on encouragement and hope. So those are my goals. That's a big tally. So we're going to do our best to get her done. All right. Now what we have here is bread. All right. Let's get the recipe. Let's see what it says here. All right. It says here, and this is what I did last night, 2 hours ago. No, go away. What? Homemade artisan bread recipe. Ingredients: 3¼ cups of about 430 grams of bread flour, spoon and leveled, plus more than hands for hands and pan. 2 teaspoons, about 6 grams instant yeast. 2 tablespoons, about 9 grams coarse salt. See notes. 1½ cups of water, close to room temperature at about 70 degrees Fahrenheit or 21 degrees Celsius. Optional. Cornmeal for dusting pan. We don't have cornmeal. It says instructions. In a large ungreased mixing bowl, whisk the flour, yeast, and salt together. Pour in the water and gently mix together with silicone spatula or wooden spoon. The dough will be seam dry and shaggy, but keep working until the flour is moistened. If needed, use your hands, as I do in the video. We don't have the video. To work the dough ingredients together. The dough will be sticky. Shape into a ball in the bowl as best you can. Okay. Keeping the dough in the bowl, cover the dough tightly with plastic wrap. Wrap with aluminum foil or wrap with aluminum foil. Set and counter at room temperature. Honestly, any normal room temperature is fine, which I did. Allow to rise 2 to 3 hours. I did 3 hours as I watched my Alien movie. The dough will just be about double the size. Stick to the sides of the bowl and have a lot of air bubbles. Okay. You can continue to step forward immediately, but the absolute best flavor and texture, I strongly recommend letting this arisen dough rest in the refrigerator for at least 12 hours and up to 3 days. Place covered dough in the refrigerator for 12 hours to 3 days. I usually let it rest in the refrigerator for about 18 hours. The dough will puff during this time, but may begin to deflate after 2 days. That's fine and normal, nothing to worry about. So we put it in the fridge. I don't know. It was about 9 o'clock last night. I got it out at 7 this morning. So what was that, 10 hours or something? 5, 13 hours? 3, 5, 8 hours, or 7, 10, about 10 hours. Lightly dust a large non-stick baking sheet with or without rims. Make sure it's non-stick with flour and or cornmeal. Turn the cold dough out on the floured work surface. Using a sharp knife or bench scraper, cut dough in half. Some air bubbles will deflate as you work with it. Place the dough halves on prepared baking sheet using floured hand. Shaped into 2 long loaves about 9 inches by 3 inches each. Doesn't have to be exact. About 3 inches apart, loosely covered and allowed to rest 45 minutes. You will bake the dough in the prepared baking sheet. During the 45 minutes, preheat the oven for 475, which we got. When ready to bake, using a very sharp knife or bread lame, some even use kitchen shears. Score the bread loaves with 3 slashes about 1/2 inches deep. Score shallow cut. The shaped loaves flatten out during the 45 minutes. Use floured hands to narrow them out along the sides again. Optional. I got this going. For a slightly crispier crust, after the oven is preheated and the bread is scored, place a shallow metal or cast iron baking pan or skillet. Usually use metal 9 by 13 baking pan on the bottom rack carefully and quickly pour the 3/4 cups of boiling water into it. Place the scored dough baking pan on a higher rack and quickly shut the oven, trapping the steam inside. The steam helps create a crispier crust. Place the shaped and scored dough on the flour cornmeal dusted pan in the preheated oven. The center rack. Bake for 20-25 minutes or until the crust is golden brown. Gently tap the loaves. If they sound hollow, the bread is done. For more accurate test doneness, the bread is done when an instant read thermometer is 195. Remove the bread from the oven and allow to cool for at least 20 minutes before slicing and serving. All right. I got the wrong one out. That's all right. All right. It's a little sticky. It'll be a little bit of a miracle if this bread turns out all right. I don't know if this is what it said, but I think this flour is getting old anyway. This bread is going to be tough, 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 tough. Just want to add a little bit more on it. And then one says, it's so unfair. I don't need to score it. It's going to sit there 45 minutes. All right. Clean up her mess. Doesn't make a bigger mess, but all right. I don't think this bread is going to go so well. We're going to stay a positive attitude. I'm a little iffy right now. Okay, I'm a lot iffy. All right. Got that stuff everywhere. All right. I've officially made a big old mess. When that bread rose last night, I looked at it and I was like, you are not rising near enough. All right. Doe doesn't want to get out of anything. All right. Put this in the washer. All right. Run some more water. I think I'm going to take a quick break. I need to use the restroom, so I'll be back in a minute. Hang on, guys. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. I gotta go put the mic back on. I gotta go to the mirror in the stream room. All right, guys. Check the computer. Make sure there's no crackheads coming in. Crack monkeys. Good, good, good. All right. Now what we got, I need to get the cutting board. We got to put the timer on for 35 minutes. Wrong button. All right. Timer's timing. Gonna use some of that avocado oil. There we go. So we got some of this. We got this in case we need it, which I don't think we will. That bread, disappointed. That's what I get for thinking just regular bread flour at the time would work. Those boneless pork loin chops, $5. A little pricey if you think about it, but somebody cut them and cut off all the fat. There we go, there's that. Let's read the instructions. Let's see here. It says 6 pork chops, we got 5. 2 tablespoons vegetable oil, we got avocado. 1/8 a teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder or to taste, 1 head of cabbage. Gathering the ingredients. Okay. So we got all right. In a large deep skillet or Dutch oven over medium high heat, brown the pork chops in the oil, turning to brown all sides. This is key since the cabbage will get its color and flavor from the caramelized pork. Work in batches if needed. After the pork is sufficiently brown on all sides, core a head of cabbage and cut into 8 wedges. Lower the heat to medium low to low. Add cabbage, a little more salt, cover and simmer for 1 hour. Okay. I've been rather generous with this avocado oil. I do like it a lot. Season the pork with all the stuff. All right. Little dab goes a long ways. All right. We're going to use a little Himalaya salt. All right. Let that brown up. Get my thongs. Okay. This is an old one. We got a new one in there. We'll see how this does. Cabbage can last a long time. All right, brown on all sides. Put the cabbage in. Turn down the heat. All right, let's check the time. Let's say 9 o'clock. Let's say 10 o'clock. That'll be done. We'll check it a little sooner. Now you just got me. Do a couple dishes here. All right. Pretty simple, like I said. For those suffering from the turning of the year, I was say turning of the moon. God knows I suffered. All right. 19 minutes on the bread. Make sure I didn't forget nothing. Not too big of mess makers. Flour was a little messy. Continue simmering, stirring frequently until the pork is falling apart. Cabbage is brown and totally wilted. All right. When ready to bake using a very sharp knife or bread lame, some even use kitchen shears, score the bread loaves with 3 slashes about ½ inch deep. Score shallow cut at the shaped loaves flattened out during the 45 minutes. Use floured hands to narrow them out along with the sides again. Optional, slightly crispy crust after the oven is preheated. Bread scored. Place the shallow metal cast iron baking pan or skillet. I usually use a 9 by 13 inch baking pan on the bottom oven rack. Carefully and quickly pour 3/4 cup of boiling water into it. Place the scored dough baking pan on the higher rack and quickly shut the oven, trapping the steam inside. Bake for 20 to 25 minutes. All right. I think I got that on the wrong rack, and I don't think it's the right one, but we're going to work with it. 14 minutes. What are we going to do for all this time? What are we going to do? I've been explaining to people self-awareness and empathy, and I did not realize it was that difficult to have empathy first. These are younger people. Have empathy for other people. They always want to stick I in front of everything. I. Then they get defensive. Intelligent people, but lacking cognitive thought process into seeing how it feels to have things happen to them and what they do to other people through that other person's eyes or experiences. Somebody selfish. I can't believe it. It's pretty sad. Pretty sad. So I was explaining to this person the empathy of a sick parent and everything else associated with it. And they're like, I just want them to spend time with me. I'm like, they're sick. They'll live longer if they are on their own. They do things on their own. See doctors and take care of it and stay isolated because they're capable of getting COVID and all this stuff. Oh, I just want them to have a real life and spend time with me. I'm like, so you want to kill them off so they spend an afternoon or go to lunch with you, spend an afternoon, a couple days with you, and in 4 to 6 weeks die of COVID instead of giving the distance, talking on the phone, and that kind of thing, and living 5, 6, 10 years. I just didn't get it. It struck me as the most horriblest thing I have ever heard almost in my senior adult life. It was horrible. It was worse than the stuff that I had to deal with. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. So I don't know. I'm still working with them. Empathy. you got to be self-aware and understand, hey, I don't feel good when I walk 5 miles or 3 miles. My legs hurt and everything else. So when you see a person, an older person, a younger person, just a person, getting a lot of exercise, strenuous things, and everything else, you say, hey, I've walked that 5 miles here, and that's hard. My legs hurt, my back hurts, my butt hurts. I understand. That's hard. That's a very simple thing. When you get into the emotions, oh, saying that triggers their trauma, what they went through as a child, abused or whatever, physically abused, and you're triggering them to relive that just so you can, you know, have them understand where you're coming from. They do understand. I don't get it. These youngins, these Z's, millennials, I just don't get it. Now I got two younger brothers and a younger sister. I got another younger sister that I never spend time with whatsoever. My biological father's third uh, uh, marriage, and I didn't like my stepmother Diana. She was a monster, a straight up monster. And my stepsister. So I don't even. She's a stepsister. I don't even really acknowledge her. I know that I went to school every day. I went to high school, walked to high school 3 or 4 miles, went to school, carried all my books in a duffel bag, then walked 3 or 4 miles to Schottenstein's West up Broad Street, then walked all the way back 6, 7 miles, guaranteed, with a full load of books, 9 or 10 o'clock at night, all the way almost to the bottoms, just at the bottom of the hill, uh, from high school, and turned back around from there, and didn't have no food. My biological mother would cook something, leave it out on the stove, cockroaches would be all over it. It's just horrible. So I wasn't eating. It was horrible. So, basically, that was so horrible. Um, I have an understanding where people go through hard times, and my stepsister, my Crystal was her name, on my biological father's daughter, uh, uh, her, he used to take, and on top of all of it, all the money I made for working after school, he kept my paychecks and didn't give me none of my paychecks, but a little bit. He'd give me a little bit. And basically from there, would pay for her milk and her uh, food or baby food, and pay for everything else off my working, and I wouldn't get nothing from it. And I had to live in those conditions. So that's why I moved out at 17. But that's the only way I really know her, is the sweat off my brow, putting food in her belly. That's about as well as I know her. And she was a baby. So, but anyway, I have a kid sister, Elizabeth, and that kind of things. And my parents literally beat into me emotionally and physically, taking care of them, worrying about their emotions, their feelings, how they felt about things, how things had to be fair and equal, and all those things. And it just isn't done anymore. It just is not done. So I don't know. This spread is going to be rough, my friends. There, scored it. Did a good job. Pardon me, I got a ton of stories like that. You can find, I wrote this up in Instagram. I didn't write that part up. I wrote a lot of this up in Instagram, and you can find my Instagram on my Twitter account. And I tell a lot of the things that I went through. I was 15 years old, working on a dairy farm out in the middle of the country, working full time on it, going to school, and was yanked out of that when my stepmother and my father, my stepfather and my mother got a divorce and moved in with my biological father. That immediately within 2 weeks I got into a fist fight with him. He went easy on me, but I called the cops. Everybody was against everybody after that. Me and my younger brother Seth. So we'd run the streets. We were allowed to run the streets all hours of the day. If we weren't working, we were running the streets. And yeah, to hell with schoolwork. Life was happening. And Hilltop Posse, a little gang up there, a little gang. That was on top of the hilltop. And the Fifth Street Wrecking Crew, they would go head to head with it. We'd have gang wars, race wars in our freaking hallways in our high school, in West High School. It was a it was a tough neighborhood. And from going from a country school kind of country mentality to the West High School was a big to the ghetto was a big change. Was a big change. Like I said, 20-25 minutes, and then guys, 3 slashes. 25 minutes. I had it pretty rough. There's people who had it rougher than I did. But the transition what's made it so hard. Everybody want to start fights with you. Everybody hating on everybody. My brother Seth had it a lot worse. I was kind of a big, intimidating guy, and my best friend was kind of a bigger, intimidating guy. And the crew of us, the three of us running the streets, we were pretty mean group. But when Adam got him and Seth, when I moved out and had to go to work and do my thing, Adam and Seth hung out, got into street fights, and Seth got into karate, and Seth got in trouble with the law. Well, that was exciting. 23 is a good number for me. So basically, after he got moved out on his own, did his thing, he moved out at a young age too. He was in a bar. We were both in trouble. And he was wherever he was. And this guy was smacking his girlfriend, giving his girlfriend a hard time. My brother stepped in, so he says, and got in a fight with the guy and broke his leg. Well, he'd had karate and black belt and all that kind of stuff. So they made him assault with a deadly weapon. So they put him in the county for 6 months. That was on his record. So then he had to fight that, going finding a job and doing all that kind of stuff. When you get into the ghetto and all that kind of stuff, that you get down into it, trying to escape that orbit of all that just trouble and problems and illegality, it has a tendency to want to just leech back onto you, to people that you knew that you had to get along with, survive, want stuff, and find you in real life, and they're just pretty tough. I, on the other hand, moved out at 17, got my own place, got my own job, got a job. Some people helped me get it, some good people. And I got kicked out of high school because I didn't go for a couple days. And turned back around from there. Was my upstairs neighbor is uh, brother, younger brother, Dennis. He was 17, 18, 17, I want to say. And said, "Hey, you want to go to a bar my sister works at?" And I said, "Sure. What the hell? I ain't doing nothing anyway." So he takes me up to the go-go bar, the corner cafe on the west side of Columbus, corner of Sullivan, and I forget the other one. And took me up there. First night, kind of just hung out, kind of got my eyes opened up to life. The second night, and had a couple drinks. The second night I went up there, my ex-wife come over to me about halfway through the night, sat on my lap, gave me a big old kiss, and it was on after that. That turned into my ex-wife, that cry and whine and piss and moan about all the time. So she was trouble. Stayed married about 5 years. We were together 5 years. Married for 3 or so. Married for 4. So raised 2 kids, 2 step kids. She was always wanting to call the cops or something like that, making it my fault. And she was a big, proud woman, badass. And she'd start fights and call the cops, trying to get my ass thrown in jail. It was pretty wicked, pretty wicked. So I couldn't go back because I knew I left her, so she was mad at me. I left her all the stuff for the kids, all that house and all the video games, all everything. Left everything for her, including the house rent. We're renting a house for the kids and us. And I knew if I went back, to visit the kids or anything else, she'd try to lasso me back in. And if she didn't get her way, she'd manipulate the situation and get my ass thrown in jail. So I stayed away. But she used to start the fights, man. Start in the house. She'd get home from bingo or whatever it was. She would be in a mood. This is trauma. This is what women do. Some women do when severely traumatized. And she'd start throwing stuff in the house, tearing stuff up, breaking stuff, knocking stuff over, just throwing a fit. Hello, how are you doing? I am 50, but I still got life in me. And as you can tell by my stories, I've lived a lot of life. I've gone skydiving, I've worked for Fortune 100 companies, I've owned my own company, and I've been very, very sick because of doctors and survived that. So yes, it's not bad being a grandpa. I survived to this long. So good morning, Zim. How are you today? Well, I guess Zim didn't want to stay around, hurt my feelings. Call me grandpa. Ooh, 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 ooh. I've been called a lot worse and treated a lot worse than that, that's for sure. Treated a lot worse. So what else? What else have I gotten into? That was my youth. I don't know. I've traveled, worked. I got really lucky, got a really good job, went to HVAC school, tried to raise a family, and worked a full-time job and went to school full-time. And I didn't sleep hardly at all. And fights with my ex-wife were something fierce. I wasn't spending enough time with her, hence she's throwing stuff all over the house. And I broke up. I left her and with nothing, some clothes, and ended up moving up north of Columbus. And basically from there, my I was working two jobs after I got out of school. One working in accounting or billing, working on bills, and another one working on da, 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 working on and building medical supplies for the third world countries. And my professor called me up on my second shift job and said, "Hey, he's working at Johnson Controls Fortune 100 company. Do you want a job?" And I said, "How much do you pay?" He said 15 an hour, and this was back in '98. So just out of school, I said I can quit both my jobs and just work that one. He said it sounded like a winner. I said count me in. So I gave my notices and started working for him, and that set my career. People paid for me to go to school all over the United States and Canada. Paid big bucks, and I partied the whole time. I have partied from coast to coast in a day. I have carried on up and all over Quebec, Montreal. They were doing the F1 Formula races up there, and just carried on, acting a fool, doing shots with the barmaid, the bartender. She was hot, and having a good time. and just traveled all over the place. Work paid for it, and just having fun. I was between the ages of 20, 23 and 33. It was a really good time. So you can't beat that. Tens of $1,000s worth of education. Then I went back to college for a little while, or went to college for a while. Didn't do that one, so did the best I could. Couldn't make it through that. Full class. I had one class that would be six or seven credit hours a quarter. I had to take 4 quarters to get my degree in CCNA, Cisco Certified Network Associate, and basically from there, I made it through the first quarter. No studying, no nothing. I knew it off the top of my head. The second quarter, they got into programming routers and doing all this, and I had a $250,000 job down in Cincinnati Art Academy, down in Cincinnati over the Rhine in the hood, and I did not do well. I did not do well at all. So that was about the end of that. The next company, ECI, Energy Control Integrators, they sent me to a couple classes. One I paid for, so there was that. It was fun. The top guy at the companies I worked at, one of the top guys at a couple of the companies. So it worked out well. Then I, of course, started my own business during all that, and contractors I've met and worked with wanted me to keep helping them. So I charged $150 an hour back in 2000, 2002, 2005 to work. So it was pretty good. It was a good ride. There was a lot of stuff done. I had fun. That's what I was into, fun. Working my ass off, doing the thing that I loved, and making buku money, and then just enjoying the ride. No plans for the future, just I was here today. Bad attitude. That was a bad attitude. I had this thing when I was being my super hard ass self, working construction in the office or out in the field, depending on company and job and time. Whiskey, women, and work were all killing me. I think there's a song that went kind of like that. Whiskey and women and work, all those things were killing me. I spent a bunch of money on women. Buy me this, buy me that. I was a fool. I was always working too, so I didn't spend time with them. Well, that's starting to bubble. That's good. Exciting life. It went by so fast. See if we get this down a little bit. There we go. 6 minutes on the bread. Let's see. 26 minutes on 25 minutes on the cabbage and pork. Smells good. It all smells good. The bread smells good. I don't know how the bread's going to turn out. But through all that, I really went through some really dark times. High stress situations, um, fights with girlfriends, leaving girlfriends because they didn't understand my work and everything else, and uh, trying to have a personal life which was a mess. It was not a work life balance at all, and I was suffering bipolar, and I was in my manic depressive state. So I'd be manic for a while, then I'd be really depressed. So I was floating between the two of them, and that is hell, hypermanic, and I was pretty depressed. So I went through some real hellacious times, fought and argued with some bosses. It was pretty rough. My anxiety was killing me. I had GAD, general anxiety disorder, mucking around with $100,000, $150,000 machines, $250,000 projects just on controls. They didn't count the machines as a part of the project, just the controllers and all the wiring and all the motors and all that kind of stuff that went with it, the sensors and controlling the equipment. Oh, you screw something up and somebody was on your shit like you wouldn't even believe. That's pretty rough. So I played hard and I worked hard. So if there's anything I got to tell you, you want to make big money, I understand. Have nice things, nice home, nice car, nice clothes, family, all those kind of things. I understand that completely. Uh, but you got to watch how much of your own life, as in your essence, as your being, you sacrifice into your work. Because when it comes down to it, that job, whoever company A, B, or C is, isn't going to give a flying hell about how you're doing. They just want the job done. They want you to get it done, get things completed, and go to the next one. So, and when it comes to shrinking sizes of companies and restructuring, new management, everything else, and you get restructured out of a job or laid off, basically from there, or they get to call you the next day or the next week, say, "Hey, Eldon, how you doing, bro? We're thinking about you. Oh, you haven't found a job yet? Oh, we'll send you another paycheck." That stuff does not happen. I had a couple jobs that were really good that gave me some nice severance paychecks, nice fat paychecks, and took care of me, and turned back around from there. Uh, uh, but they they didn't care. There's all the secrets you had up in your head of stuff not working and on job sites and things not done right and things screwed up on. They didn't want you opening your mouth and telling the world what was going on with it. So you non-compete, non-disclosure, mostly non-disclosures. I had to sign some intellectual property agreements. Quite a few of those. One company tried to get me to sign a non-compete, but I can't get into that. Now this had steam in it, so stand back. What did it say for internal temperature 140 or something? How about 170, 190? That needs worst. Bread's done. Smells awesome. Fluffed up a lot more than I thought it would. Crunchy. That trick of putting the water in there was a good trick. I'd never tried that before. So the key thing is to protect, just like you were playing Destiny. I love Destiny. And some good people here recently said, protect your life, protect your life. And I hear that a lot now. Protect your life. And when you're out there in the real world, you know, you, you know, throwing the hands and you're doing your thing, fighting for your paycheck. Remember, play your life. Working 16, 20 hours a day like I did for a year for one company, and I made buku money. I lost a daughter, doesn't talk to me. I lost that girlfriend that was associated with that. Her her boss fired her because I had a relationship with her boss, and then she broke up with me. And then I had a relationship with her, the receptionist. And so to get back at me, she got the receptionist fired through another receptionist. Run her out, and just drama. How much is that worth to you? How much is that? How much is your mental peace worth to you? So just think about that. Yeah, you got to struggle. You got to pay your dues when you're young, but there's a limit. You got to know what your limit was at that particular moment in your life. It may change. You may get a divorce and have to pay a bunch of alimony and a bunch of child support. And you may have to work more hours, and you got to take care of your responsibilities. But you got to work at the level where you can live life, spend it with your family, take care of them, and still have some nice things. So, unless you're super genius or super lucky, which I was a super lucky, and I worked my ass off to figure things out, it's not going to come easy. It is not going to come easy. So, I never went a moment in time without somebody after I worked for that Fortune 100 company, Johnson Controls. Somebody offered me a job. I fix something, work on something, teach somebody, teach a group, teach a whole bunch of technicians. The company's like, "You want to come work for us? We'll pay you. We'll pay you." So I was always having a job, even in bad economies. They laid me off once they got done with the big projects they were under, but I always had a job. It killed me almost, but so you gotta realize where you're at. So you gotta pay your dues, you gotta work, you gotta put your time in, you gotta work your 40, you gotta work more than that sometimes, based on what it is. But don't let them bleed you dry. I I highly recommend you don't let them bleed you dry. It is tough because they don't give a crap about you. I am cooking today. Good day to you. Cabbage and pork tenderloins and bread, and it's just my mandatory New Year celebration to have cabbage and pork, and it smells really good. And basically from there, to bring good fortune, good luck, bring you good things to you in your new life or your new year, and kind of that kind of thing. And here it is. So it's really simple. You can check it out on Discord. I think Discord's in the thing there under food. Check out Discord, and it'll give the recipes for what's cooking. I think next month's in there. You scroll back up from there, and it'll have the cabbage and bread, artisan bread in there. And you can download that file and take a look at the recipes and everything else. So if you want to do it yourself, you can do it. You got 15 minutes left on the cabbage. It's doing better after I turned it up a little bit. Well, hello. Welcome to the show. Bachelor cooking, usually Sundays. But check it out. There's a whole bunch of recipes we've done. Uh, and the YouTube, if you go on YouTube, Eldon,
When you're in a fire
Eldon.
team and you've got a Titan or a
Well, thank
Warlock
you for
with
the
you
follow.
gotta,
Thank you.
go easy on them. They're helping too, after a fashion.
Eldon underscore Klein on YouTube. A bunch of old videos are in there for the Bachelor cooking. So you can check those out and match those up with Discord on some of the old recipes that are in under food. You get the whole Discord tree and food. Everybody's welcome. As we put them in there, so you can go back and grab those recipes if you want to try them out yourself and that kind of thing. It's a really simple recipe. You got some oil. I used avocado oil to try it today, but it says use vegetable oil. Some salt and pepper, and some cabbage and pork loins. It's really simple. It's really good. And the bread, I didn't think would turn out so hot. It turned out all right. So I'm happy with it. That's okay. Not a big deal. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. I hope you're doing all right. So pretty quiet here. Food. Got to keep your food. I eat a lot of food. We like good food here. We like experimenting, trying new things, checking it out. This one Gothbusters from Britain, from London. I think she was outside of London. And her boyfriend Adam, got me this recipe, or I got a recipe and asked for them to look at it. They said, "Why don't you cook Jamaican jerk chicken?" I said, "Jamaican jerk chicken? Never heard of it." They said, "Oh, it's the greatest thing ever. It's real popular. Everybody's doing it." So I got it and checked it out. It was awesome. It's in there how to make it, how to walk through the prep of it, and everything else on YouTube. And it was really good. So I want to thank Gothbusters for that recipe. Yes, my sister-in-law made it for me. God bless her soul. She's Ashley. She's a sweetheart. My youngest brother Eli is his wife. So they did some other Star Wars things. Oh, you can see it here. I don't know if you can see it. Some of the little hand things and oh, that sounds wonderful. I think that's going to need some more salt and pepper. We just like chilling out, having a good time, carrying on. My younger sister usually comes in and hangs out. She helps, gives me advice on some foods and stuff like that. We had a Chinese Christmas here just recently, a couple weeks ago, and she helped me get the idea, the concept. So I sent some recipes to her. She says, "Oh, those sound good," and she sent me cream cheese wontons. They were excellent. A little bit more sugar, but they were excellent. She worries about my weight, and she's a big help. My niece stops through and says hi and that kind of thing. "I love you, Uncle Eldon." So it's just a family thing, friends, breaking bread. Reminds me of Renegades too, this apron. So it's pretty cool. Everything worked out just the right time. Destiny 2's Renegades. We play a lot of that through the week. A few more minutes, we'll be ready to plate up. It's been a few hours already this morning, a couple hours. Wasn't expecting a long show. It's New Year's. People are still recovering. So I understand that. I'm in Jackson, Ohio, in the U.S. Don't hold it against me. It is a great place. Well, thank you. I picked that up Lodge. I picked up a whole bunch of Lodge stuff one Christmas. I bought myself a bunch of Christmas stuff, well, pots and pans, and they're all cast iron. This is a cast iron and enamel, and I bought a whole bunch of regular Lodge pans and everything else. Spent like 250, 300 bucks on it, and was very happy. We can crunch and munch off some of this stuff. Will we need the special bread knife? No. Definitely done. Six minutes. Well, it was good to meet you. Happy New Year. I hope
When
it's
you're on
good
a
for
fire
you.
team and you've got a
I hope it's
Titan
good
or a
for you.
Warlock with you, you gotta, go easy on them. They're helping
Thanks.
too, after
Thanks
a
for
fashion.
thanks for the follow. Thank you, thank you. Put these over on the table. All right, 3 minutes. I say we can probably call it here. Let's open this thing up and see what we got. Wilted down, a little brown. Little cabbage. Not a lot of color, is there? Let's get my phone so I can take a picture, send it to my mom and dad and my sister, put it on the internet, put it in Discord. Let's get something cold to drink. That is steaming hot. Steaming hot. All right. I think this is cold. We say every day, every time, so cover your ears if you don't want to hear. Thank you, Lord, for this food, house, car, and things. Thank you for the friends, my family, everybody getting home safe, being safe, healthy, and strong. Amen. Amen. All right. Let's check this out. Good. Definitely more salt and pepper. Let's try it again. Much better. Cabbage is very good. Oh, that is very good. Sounds good. My parents have a farm, and they used to grow rabbits. And Mom was real into that rabbit, eating the rabbit, and it was really good. So she liked it a lot more than I did, but she's a lot more country than I am. But she used to love it. It sounds good. It sounds really good. All right. The bread was good. That's all right. Pangolada, that sounds awesome. I wouldn't cook rabbit, but like I said, I got family that does. Lakshadoma. I can't pronounce it. It sounds good. My mom would love it. If you want to send a picture and put it in Discord, feel free. Under general discussion or under food, you're cooking food. Feel free to put it under food. I'd be more than happy to check it out, and I will share it with my dear mother because she'll want some. After she sees it, she'll want some. Thank you for that. Thank you. Guys, dinner was great. I'll be munching on it later on today after naps. So it was really good. The bread was really good. The bread needs some real butter or some butter. So other than that, it's great. So the cabbage with the seasoning from the pork and the avocado oil right over there turned out very good. The salt and the pepper, the onion or garlic pepper, or was it garlic or onion? One of the two. I think it was garlic. It was really good, really wholesome. I enjoyed it. The pork was absolutely magnificent. It wasn't, 5-star Michelin, nothing, but for me, it was pretty good. I was very happy with it. It wasn't fall off the bone and crumble, but as you can see, I was cutting it up with a fork. Very good. So, guys, we are starting off 2026. I hope you all stay safe. I hope you use your noggins. Think about other people. Take my examples of empathy. Think of other people. Reflect on what you've gone through in your life, no matter how short or long. People have really short lives and they lived very long time in that life. So that's totally where your experience comes from. But realize reflecting how you feel about things, how you emotionally charged about things is how probably somebody else is going to feel on average is going to feel about it. You can always ask and look in their eyes and see their facial expressions and their demeanor when you talk about it. Have empathy, sympathy, be understanding. This world needs a whole lot more compassion and understanding. I said this last week or last time I cooked, I think it was Christmas when I cooked last week, is basically we do not need to make our children and our friends and our family harder and stronger to survive in this cruel world. It is our responsibility, those living in the here and the now, today, listening to my voice out there. It's up to us to make this a softer, gentler world where people will be okay, will be safe going down the street and everything else. More law for sure, but more empathy and that kind of thing for just the average people will go a long way. So I always say this, no offense meant, anything else. I love you guys. I hope you do very well. Hope you come back and visit. We are always doing something. If it isn't this, cooking, isn't game night with my brother-in-law and family, we're playing video games in the morning, hanging out and doing our thing. So I wish you all the best. Happy 2026, and I'll see you next time we do another show, which is tomorrow morning for me at 8 o'clock. We're going to play Destiny. So, guys, I'll see you when I see you.